Now that I'm in the beer scene, it seems like I just keep going deeper and deeper into this vortex that is the magical world of craft beer. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first ever Beer Feelings podcast, where together we are going to indulge in life and craft beer. My name is Natalie Jones, and I'm going to be your host. I am so excited that you guys have decided to join me on this adventure. So this very first episode, we're going to lay a little bit of groundwork. Who am I? Why do I know what I'm talking about? What is this podcast going to be about? It's going to be fabulous. So grab a beer, pop in your headphones. Let's get started, shall we? So like I said, my name is Natalie, and I didn't always like beer. In the beginning, when I was first exposed to beer, I thought it kind of tasted like bread water, and I had no idea why people drank it. And when I turned 21, I kind of made this deal with myself that I don't eat food that I don't like. So why would I drink things that I don't like? So when I was a young 21, I drank a lot of sugary drinks. I drank a lot of wine, but really didn't understand beer and its appeal at all. I found myself in an internship in the brewery industry, the craft beer industry, and had a lot of access to craft beer working different events. And I was always offered different beers. I would try and be polite, and I would just point to the top of the tap list and, drink whatever was available, and still just was very confused as to how people liked this beverage. And because I was 21 and I was new in my career, and I was afraid that if I asked too many questions, people wouldn't take me seriously professionally, I just didn't do anything about it. And so I stayed disliking beer until I finally built up the courage to start asking the friendly brewery owners and beer tenders, what do you like about this? Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Can you help me understand? It looks like other people around are enjoying this. Can you help me understand what's going on? So eventually, these guys were some of the friendliest people that I've ever met. And they took beer and they put it in terms of flavors instead of science or history. And so they would ask me questions like, how do you take your coffee? And do you put a lot of cream and sugar in it? Do you just drink like really strong espresso? Do you not drink coffee? Do you drink tea? And from there, we kind of had this shared dialogue about flavor. And what started with one style that we uncovered that I liked, which was a Hefeweizen, by the way. The next brewery that I went to, I found two styles that I liked. And now, 8 years later, I have a whole bunch of beers that I like, but it never could have happened without the assistance of a guide. Now that I'm in the beer scene, it seems like I just keep going deeper and deeper into this vortex that is the magical world of craft beer. So I can't get enough of it. I am excited about it. And that's really brought me to why I started the podcast. So I'm starting this podcast in particular because, number one, looking back at my 21-year-old self that didn't like beer and was a little intimidated and overwhelmed, to be honest, I really could have used somebody like 29-year-old me to help guide me through this process, tell me where I should start, what I could try, kind of take the same role that those beer tenders did, but I really needed more of like a relatable gal pal. And the second reason why I want to start this podcast is I hear a lot of individuals, in particular, I hear this coming from women, but I'm sure men say it as well, that are settling for their drinks. So they're drinking like average beer or cheap wine or like vodka soda. Does anyone really think that vodka soda tastes good? I don't understand vodka soda, but I'm just becoming very aware of all of these individuals that are investing money and time and calories in alcoholic beverages that are just not especially exciting. And it kind of drives me crazy. You wouldn't go to a restaurant and order something that was just so. So why are we doing that with our alcohol? So for those reasons, I've decided to start this podcast. With all of that being said, what are we going to talk about? So each week when you tune in, You are going to get to hear me take you on an adventure where we learn about beer. We learn about the culture behind it, the history in like a fun and flirty way, a little bit of science. We're going to experiment with a few things, but everything is going to be super friendly and entertaining in a way that you've never heard craft beer talk about before. So let me give you some sneak previews of topics. We're going to kick things off with some beer basics. We're going to lay some groundwork so that we're all on the same page. And then we're going to explore how can you confidently buy a 6-pack of a brand new beer at the liquor store without feeling that overwhelming like fear of commitment if you don't like it. We're going to talk about different styles of beer, where they came from, what makes them special, why you would enjoy something like that. And of course, I'm going to tell you a bunch of stories along the way. So this podcast is for you if you are a woman that thinks they don't like beer, if you are a woman that's a little freaked out or intimidated by beer, if perhaps you're a female that likes beer, but find it a little bit hard or spooky to try new things, and so you feel stuck drinking the same style, or perhaps you are a gal pal who already likes beer, but you're just curious about the beverage and you are excited to learn more. This content is definitely going to be geared more towards women. However, if you are a guy listening, you are welcome in this sandbox. Enjoy the ride. It's going to be marvelous, but we're definitely going to be taking a very feminine angle in all of these topics, which I am especially excited about and energized by. So if this sounds like something that you are also excited about, or even if you're just curious about it, make sure you click on that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any episodes to come. And you know what? If this doesn't sound like your cup of tea, that's totally all right. But I would invite you that while I was telling this story, my beer story, and talking a little bit about the show, if someone came to mind that you think that I could help out and I could be their gal pal on their beer journey, I'd invite you to send this podcast to them so they can learn along with me. So cheers, everybody. I'm so beyond excited to have everybody along for the ride, and I'll catch you in the next episode.